So today I'm going to talk about my process, or let's say my former process of getting better at wrestling. I say former because I'm no longer a college wrestler or a competitive wrestling athlete. But first, here's my story. So as most of you know, my name is Brandon Reed and I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. When I was 13 years old, going into high school, I tried to join the football team. Long story short, I was told I was too fat, too slow, and too lazy to be a part of the Iroquois High School football team, which, to be fair, was having a great run in previous couple of years. On my way out of practice, I ran into a guy named Gary Cole. Coach Cole was an assistant on the football team who also happened to be the head wrestling coach. He noticed my glum face and asked where I was going. I told him what I just told you and he asked if I had ever wrestled. I had not. I did, however, love WWE and a specific character named the Ryback. Coach Cole convinced me that I should try wrestling out so that I could lose some weight, build confidence, make some friends, and so much more. And, honestly, I didn't have anything better to do, so I did. I was just a fat kid, 270 pounds, who had no friends, no confidence, and too much time on my hands. Well, I started wrestling and lost over 50 pounds in the first wrestling season, where I would go 4-14 in the Kentucky wrestling high school season. But although this record kind of sucked, I loved wrestling. It was so fun, and I was gaining the confidence that Coach Cole had promised. Fast forward to the end of my high school wrestling career, I would finish as a 2-time Fargo All-American, 2-time state placer, and Flow Nationals All-American. Eventually, I was offered a full ride scholarship to wrestle in the NAI at Lindsey Wilson College, where I'd end up being a 3-time NAI national champion and the 2021 NAI Wrestler of the Year. I then started doing BJJ in 2021, and 4 years later, I've had a pretty good start to my career, placing top 3 ADCC trials. I got invited to ADCC Worlds and won a few world gold medals at the blue and purple belt level. All this again, less than 4 years of competitive experience in Jiu-Jitsu. Now I go around the world teaching wrestling for Jiu-Jitsu seminars. So far, I've booked seminars in the US, Canada, Germany, Belgium, France, and the UK, and there's more to come in the future. Now, I'm not the greatest BJJ athlete ever. I'm not the best wrestler ever. I'm just some dude who started wrestling extremely late in life compared to the rest of the Americans, and I fell in love with the process. So this takes us to one of the most common questions I get from you viewers. How do you get good at wrestling? Well, it's complicated. First, what does it mean to be good? Is it an NAIA champion, a D1 champion, an Olympic champion? I'm not sure. Do accolades matter at all? According to lots of studies, even when you consider some of the best wrestling coaches, a lot of those guys were not great wrestlers themselves or even world class. So I guess I really don't have an answer to that. But I'll say this. I do have a process for developing wrestling skills, and I think there will be a few things that might shock even the most dedicated viewers who want to learn wrestling for jiu-jitsu or folk style, freestyle, or Greco-Roman wrestling. Here's my process of developing a better, well-rounded wrestling game, and I hope you guys find it useful. Number 1, mastering the basics. The word basics or fundamentals are extremely subjective. So here's how I'll define them. The basics are the takedowns that statistically get finished the most. Some common ones are the double leg, the single leg, the go behind, the high crotch, and more, just to name a few. Now, we have a good idea on where our focus should be as a new wrestler. We should keep it in the realm of these takedowns that I just mentioned. Once you've gotten these down, you can start to explore other things. In my first year of wrestling, I was focused on these things, and in the end, they became my old reliable. I developed these through countless hours of drilling, situational sparring, live rolling, competition, and more. A lot of that kind of occurred with this rinse and repeat process too. I would do good or I would fail, and then I would make adjustments. I love duck unders, ankle picks, and dumps, but when it counted, simple moves like the double leg are what won me some of my biggest matches. Number 2, get in shape. Wrestling is hard. Whether you're wrestling in jiu-jitsu or high school, the act of attempting and defending takedowns can be rough. I remember when I was in high school, we would do conditioning every single day. We would warm up with gymnastics, lift weights, do sprints and long distance runs on the track, buddy carries, and so much more just to get in shape for the sport. Getting your body ready to wrestle will inevitably make you a better wrestler, keep you safe, and give you the endurance to perform your techniques when it matters. Number 3, patience. In the one-click wonder world of social media, everything is supposed to come fast. The 3 easy steps to score more takedowns, or how I got my black belt in 3 years type of content flood social media, and it gets clicks, which, I get it. But the reality is this: wrestling is hard. Now, I don't just mean the conditioning, but the actual skill acquisition is hard, and it takes a lot of time before you can become even close to your preferred skill level. I've been wrestling since I was 13 years old. I'm almost 27, and I still feel so inadequate in my skills compared to some of my friends and idols. I don't think I'll ever look at myself as a good wrestler because my standard is so high, but I love this. I love the chase and the opportunity to consistently get better. It's extremely tempting to get frustrated when a move is not working after the first try, or to totally dismiss hope with a certain technique when it's not going well. But in the end, with all things considered, the most important trait you need to become a better wrestler is patience. There are tons of different methods for improving specific skills like the information processing approach or IP, the constraints-led approach or the ecological approach, and so much more. Regardless of your preferred approach, if you master the basics, get in shape, and learn to have patience, then you'll eventually find yourself on the good end of takedowns. But today's video is long enough. If you guys like a video and want me to drop a free practice game plan so that you can learn how to implement new techniques in your training, then comment practice in the comment section below, and I'll think about making a more in-depth video or even free ebook for you guys. Also, if you're interested in learning my favorite takedowns for jiu-jitsu, I have a ton of instructionals at my website, brandonreed3x.com/store. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you next time.